Clap it up once again for our cast tonight, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody feeling tonight? If y'all feeling good tonight, make some noise and say yeah! Say oh yeah! Oh yeah! Alright, so we're from Chicago. I'm from Chicago, he's from here. But I'm born and raised in Chicago, and we're delighted to be here with you guys in Washington, D.C. Got a chance to see the White House today. That was nice, right? White House has been there for a while. I was gonna walk over to the mall, but after I saw the White House, I was like, you know what? I've seen enough of the day. Fuck it, I'm gonna get a massage. When I got a massage, I came back here to chill for the rest of the day. So, as Freddie said, when I call the performers out to the stage, and when I call to leave the stage, let's show them some real energy, all right? Go crazy, go wild, as if it was your own self up here, all right? Can y'all do that for me tonight? Yeah! All right. So it's always a mind-boggling thing of what I'm going to do. And I told Franny, he was like, do this song. He's like, do Georgia. He was all in my head before we came here, you know, because I switched it up a little bit, right? And instead of singing, anybody know Georgia by Ray Charles? Yeah. Right? So I sang it once at our karaoke storyteller show in Chicago. And when I changed it up, I'm like, Chicago. You know, he's like, oh, they're going to eat it up. I'm like, all right, chill out. I had another song in mind that I wanted to do. But as I was here earlier, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do either one of those songs. I'm going to do this song that I was thinking about earlier. And I was just thinking, like growing up, I was always hard-headed and stubborn as a kid. Anybody have that experience as a kid? Right? I was that kid that my mother would tell me to clean up your room and then you can go outside and play, right? I was a kid that went outside and played and then went and cleaned up my room. Then got my ass beat because I didn't do it right? I was always the one that wanted to do things my way, and that even carried on into adulthood. There was this girl that I was I had a madly wild crush on from child. She lived in Michigan. I was crazy about her, man. It was a childhood crush, but it was even more than that. It actually developed into love. But there was only one problem. She went to a church in Michigan that the church that I grew up in did not fellowship. I don't know if any of you guys go to church in here, but like in church, you know, it's like you got this church and this other church, and if we agree, then we can get together and we can have a good time, right? But if I don't agree with you, then fuck you and you stay over there. You know what I mean? So her church was like that, you know, it was like taboo. She was forbidden fruit, if you will. Everybody told me, they're like, Steve, don't mess with her. You know, you might be in love and all this, but, you know, she's trouble. She goes to a church that doesn't believe that you can, you know, get divorced and get remarried. And I'm like, so what? I don't plan on getting remarried. Fine, whatever. So I'm 21 years old. It's been about, 17, 18 years ago. And you can't tell me nothing, as Kanye West said. I'm working for my father's construction firm, making good money, had a couple pieces of real estate, a couple cars paid off, great credit, et cetera. And I decide, also, I had pretty good standing in my church leadership positions, the whole nine. But I decided that, you know what, I don't care about none of this. I'm following my heart, and I'm going to Michigan, and I'm marrying that girl because she wouldn't come to Chicago, right? So I went and I did that. And that same stubbornness, that same hard-headedness, it carried on even into my marriage. My wife at the time, she would tell me, when you take your clothes off, don't just take your clothes off and drop your clothes right where you're standing. Put your clothes in dirty clothes. But I can give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want to do, right? I'm going to take my clothes off and just leave them right where they are. If you're going to do the dishes, don't just do the dishes, but dry the dishes with a towel and put them up. Well, I was a firm believer in 72-hour air drying. Just let the dishes sit there and dry. That same stubbornness carried on with me. It's probably why I've been divorced twice, right? But I've always been a firm believer in doing it my way. Anybody in here been driving before they had a navigation system? Clap your hands if you have. I was that guy that had a map, plus maybe 2 or 3 other maps in my back seat. I was always going to figure out where I was going. Just give me an address, maybe a cross street or 2 if it's a pretty rural area, but I'm going to figure it out, right? I loved working things out. I was a fixer. I'm a problem solver. I wanted to do things and say that I did that. So I was thinking earlier, I'm like, you know what? And I'm sure I'm not the only. Am I the only man in here that like to figure things out? Oh, I'm the only man, huh? But I never ever got lost, right? I never got lost.
Never asked for directions either.
No, I never got lost. We were just getting there, you know? Just taking our time, figuring it out. It wasn't lost. I was thinking earlier, I'm like, you know what? I bet you, and don't Google this shit while I'm saying it, but I bet you that the inventor of GPS was a female. And I bet you that she was a woman that had a husband that she was tired as hell of him saying that, honey, we're not lost. And she probably figured out, you know what? I'm going to invent this global positioning satellite system. And she was married to this guy named Greg Paul Sanders. And she told him one day, honey, I created something for you. Here's a gift. And tricked him into using it. And he did. But I was just thinking about doing it my way. Even the guy up the street, up the road, that you guys call your president. Hey, I live in Chicago. I don't live here. That's not my president. But as much as he is, you know, what we all say that he is, one thing that I admire about him, one thing only, and that's that regardless of how wrong he does shit, how incompetent he may be, how asinine things may be seen, is that at the end of the day, he can say that he did things his way. There you go, lights. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. Sing it if you know it. I live a life that's full, I travel the east and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Listen to this. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, not that many. To use a measure, I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew, but through it all, when there were clouds, I gave it all I've laughed, I've cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. Keep singing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way, oh, but no, oh no, not me, I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who feels. The record shows I took the road and made it that sounds real good, by the way. Yes, it was my way. Washington, probably already have some fun. I make the most and say yeah! Say oh yeah! All right. We're going to go ahead and keep this thing moving right along. Coming to the stage for the very first time, I want y'all to please help me welcome, clap your hands, and give it up for one only,